Hey, welcome to my cyberspace. Today I'm going to be talking about how to grow as a data expert. I'm going to be talking about different things that will make you more propel in your career. Let's get right into it. So, how do you grow as a data analyst? And a lot of times people have this question of either you're trying to look for a job or you're currently either entry level, mid level, or you're just looking to prepare or grow better in your career and you feel a little bit stuck. This video is for you. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 major pillars. First of all, I'll talk about data tools. I'll talk about techniques and method. I'll talk about data fundamentals. I'll talk about industry standard, and I'll talk about career productivity. So the first thing is, what do we mean by data tools? Think of these as the tools you use in your data analytics, every day at work, whatever. Like you use Excel, you use Power BI, you use SQL, and the bunch of tools that you use. A lot of times, one of the things you want to do for yourself as a data analyst or a data expert, data scientist, is to get yourself to know how to use these tools, to know like the latest trend for these tools, to know the updates. You want to be able to be comfortable with at least majority of the data analytics tools. And this is where I see a lot of people trying to excel more as data experts. People are more concerned about, I want to learn XYZ tool, I haven't catched up with this tool. You're still trying to learn this tool, and another tool is like probably already in vogue and you already feel overwhelmed. In this video, I'm going to talking more about like how do you go about that approach. So learning data tools is just one bucket out of one of the ways for you to grow as a data analyst. If you only focus on data tools and you don't focus on the other aspects I'm about to talk about in this video, you might still feel stuck. So let's go on to point number 2, techniques and method. And I would say arguably this is probably one of like the most important buckets that I'm talking about today. A whole lot of times, like I said, people will want to focus on the tools. They want to know how to use the different tools: Excel, Power BI, Python, R. And one of the things you actually need to focus on is actually the methods, because a lot of times you can have a lot of transferable knowledge. So if you understand like what the output should look like, you understand like the techniques, you understand what a categorical data is, a numerical data, you understand some certain principles, it's going to help you even when you are not so familiar with a new tool and you have to use it because you're already familiar with the previous tool. So one of the things I'll really say is, if you really want to grow in your career journey, you want to focus not just on data tools, you also want to focus on data techniques and methods, right? So let's go right into the third one. Third one is data fundamentals. And a lot of time people would think this is just for like entry level. The fundamentals are still the fundamentals. When you approach your data project, the first thing you need to know is, okay, what is the data type? What are the variables? What is this? So you need to ask yourself those data fundamentals. If peradventure you found yourself into like the data analytics journey and you necessarily do not understand some data fundamentals, some basic stuff as like some statistics like mean, median, mode, it might sound like quite mundane, but really if you understand just those basic, when you know this is the right time to use mean instead of you using median and vice versa, right? So you want to go back to increase your understanding on the data fundamentals. So the first point I mentioned is understanding the data tools. I also spoke about like understanding the data analytics techniques, and right now I'm talking about understanding just the fundamentals. So let's go right into the next one. So right now the next one is industry standard. And what do I mean by industry standard? You probably will be applying your data analytic tools, techniques, whatever, into different industry, that finance, healthcare, name it. So one of the things you want to know is you want to find out what is not just like the data analytics like standard for doing things, but you want to know what is like your industry standard. And some people will call this like domain knowledge or domain practice. You want to know, like, is this type of analytics like preferable? You also want to know what are like some of the most trending type of analysis, or the most trending methods, or the most trending tools that you need to know as a data expert. So we see how all of these buckets are overlapping, right? So you can't just try to say you want to go learn Tableau, Power BI, Python, and in your field a whole lot of persons are not actually trying to use those tools, or they don't use those methods. So one of the things that would make you really grow, or that won't make you feel stuck in your career journey, is not just to focus about the tools, is to try to see, okay, which industry do I think I am more interested in, and you can build strength on that before you start to diversify. Because right now, as much as people want people with different skill, they also want to engage an expert. And let's go to the last bucket, and the last one is career and productivity. And what do I mean by career and productivity? This is more related to like your soft skill. This is related to like relational skill. This is how you communicate your data result. This is how you relate with people. This is how you ask your questions. So you could understand the industry standard. You would not know like what is the right approach to be able to ask questions to people, right? So make sure you know this thing. If this video was a value for time, make sure to do it to follow, subscribe, and share.